Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we're going to be asking that question, where can I find this? This is one of the most common questions I get on a lot of videos. Most often, this is from newer players that are looking to get into a game that I cover, and they may not know where to purchase the products that I review, that I talk about, that are in my games. Usually the Star Wars games. I talk a lot about Star Wars games. A lot of folks are wanting to know where they can get this stuff. Some of you that are watching, most of you perhaps, already have a source of preference where you get your games, but I thought this would be a great opportunity to both address the new players that are asking me questions, as well as also speak to some of the older players and hopefully get some of your tips and tricks on where you want to get your stuff, where you get your games, where you get your Star Wars miniatures, and where you get board games in general. And we're going to talk about that in this video. Now, this video is not going to feature any kind of sponsorships from any of these websites that I'm going to talk about, because I'm going to talk about some websites, and I want to put it out there in full disclosure. I'm not getting any kickbacks from any of these websites. I'm only going to be talking about places that I have used, that I am basically letting you know are trustworthy for the most part. I mean, at least that they have been for me. So that's kind of why. Now, I'm not necessarily going to include every possible site here, but if you want to share things like that, you know, the comment section is great for that. Plus, we have links in the video description below. You can jump on social media and in our Discord and also ask more questions there. So if you are a newer player, or you're a newer player to maybe one game in particular, and you want to, you know, discuss with the community, share build ideas, share, you know, philosophies and strategies and photos of all of your great stuff, it's a great place to be. So check the links down in the video description below, as well as I will put some links to some of the sites that I'm going to be talking about in the video description below. So the first option I want to give you for where to buy stuff, where to buy your Star Wars stuff, where to buy your games, is local stores near you. Look up FLGS, stands for Friendly Local Game Store. That's just a term that we in the tabletop gaming community use for our local stores that sell products, and that usually also have a play space available for us to play said games in. They have these in many towns, but not all towns. But definitely start looking online. Do local searches, Google searches. Check other social media, anything that has like Discords sometimes, or Facebook if you use that. Facebook's a good resource. I used to use something called Meetup.com. I don't even know if that's available anymore, if that even happens anymore. But that's definitely a place where people will purchase their local games and play. Friendly local game stores. Your local game stores are the best place to purchase these products, because that's a place that you and others can play. So it's a great place to support the store in which you are playing. These same stores also will hold tournaments and you know, casual play events and meetups and things like that. So definitely that's the best option. You know, basically 10 times out of 10. But that may not always be the option, or sometimes local game stores will, you know, charge a little more, and maybe you need to find a place that has a discount, or, you know, there are some cases where local stores will charge more than the MSRP for certain products. I have seen that before. It's kind of unfortunate when that happens, but the cost of doing business is sometimes high, depending on the rent and where it is, and everybody has their own reasons for that. I'm not going to get into that, but there are plenty of reasons that you might want to purchase stuff online. For example, you don't have a local game store near you, or maybe not close enough that you can get to. You want to, maybe your local store is not doing pre-orders, and you want to pre-order somewhere else, or you just maybe you don't have a local store at all. You know, or it's too expensive and you need to find a deal. So I want to talk about some websites that I have used, and some places that you can try to find your Star Wars games, or any kind of board games or whatever. So the first one I will generally suggest would be the manufacturer's site. So if you're looking for a game made by WizKids, you know, try to go, you know, look up WizKids and try to find their website. order it from there. If you're looking for something from Gale Force 9, go to their website. If you're looking for terrain or something like that from like Monster Fight Club, go to monsterfightclub.com. Check out their own resource. In the case of the Star Wars games I cover, and we're going to switch over to some of these. I'm going to talk about Asmodee. Asmodee's got store.asmodee.com. It used to be shop.asmodee.com, but they changed that over to their retailers site. But if you go to Asmodee's website, you can log in, you can create an account, you can purchase directly from them, you can do pre-orders from them. They're going to have a lot, like pretty much their entire catalog of what's in stock. Sometimes there is not going to be certain things in stock, like good luck trying to find the Architans for Armada here. You're not always going to find everything on Asmodee.com, but there's going to be a lot of stuff here, not just Star Wars stuff, but all of their studios. Fantasy Flight Games has their stuff here. Atomic Mass Games has their stuff here. You have other studios as well. Asmodee actually covers an awful lot of stuff. There's a pretty good chance you can find a board game that you're looking for here, but not every game is going to be here. So again, check your manufacturer site specifically, but in the case of the Star Wars games that I typically cover, you're going to be able to find most of those right here at store.asmodee.com. Just, pros and cons. It's, from one point of view, maybe you're not necessarily supporting your friendly local game store if you order here, so that, and also you're not going to get much of a discount here. Now, sometimes they do have discounts, usually end of year type sales and stuff like that. They'll sometimes have discounts, but not always. The next up is Amazon. Some people have very mixed emotions on Amazon, and definitely understand that. Amazon is not for everybody, but it's also pretty reliable. We do a lot of I do a lot of orders on Amazon. I do a lot of gift card giveaways via Amazon. We're also going to have one of those at the end of this video as well. But yeah, you can definitely find stuff on Amazon. They have a great return policy. Just be sure of what you're buying. Sometimes the pictures don't always match up. Like since almost anybody can set up an Amazon shop, I mean, there's definitely, checks and balances in there. Just be sure of what you're buying. And again, return policy is usually pretty good. If somehow you accidentally buy the wrong thing, you'll probably be okay. Target is actually an interesting place to try and buy games. Target has a pretty significant board game collection, and you can get a lot of gaming at Target.com. If you have a local Target, you can always browse there too, but Target's website has a pretty decent gaming selection, and you can find a lot of games there. Also very reliable, but you're not always going to get crazy good sales, although you may have to combine them with, like, if you have any of Target's promotional stuff like the red card or anything like that. But yeah, Target's definitely grown over the years as far as their board game selection, so that's definitely a site that you can check out. Other retail stores that have good web presences. Barnes & Noble. I feel like Barnes & Noble has, over the years, they've been bigger, and they're doing a little bit less with the Star Wars gaming now. But Barnes & Noble has been used to be one of the mainstays for trying to get leaks in early release products, because Barnes & Noble was always like notorious for getting like a whole wave of X-Wing in stock and put on on store shelves like 2 weeks before the street date or something like that, which was pretty cool. I've also had some pretty crazy sales. I've ordered a lot of stuff from Barnes & Noble's website and in Barnes & Noble physical stores. Again, it wasn't one of the places I expected to have a nice gaming department, but they typically do. So whether you have one in person or you want to head to barnesandnoble.com, you can do that. Looking at a couple more gaming-specific stores, CoolStuffInc.com. Now, this is a website I used to use a lot. When I first started getting into the hobby, this was a site that had a ton of board games. They focus more on card games now. They've been kind of liquidating a lot of their miniatures and board game inventory. So if you head over there, you can still find some things, not much. You can still find some, Armada, for example, on stock. Like this one, they have one left in stock, right? So if you're looking for an invisible hand, for example, who's going to grab this one, right? It's up to you. But they don't have a whole lot of miniatures game stuff. But since there are new, I mentioned them because there are Star Wars games that are not necessarily miniatures games, like the new Star Wars Unlimited, which is going to be a card game. Cool Stuff is really focusing more on card games. And so if you're interested in anything like that, this is definitely a potential place. They also have like daily sales that, there's like 5 products are like a special ultra low clearance like every day. And so I used to I had that bookmarked. I used to go there every single day. So this one was a bigger source for me. Much less now since I'm less into card games, but might be dipping my feet back into Magic the Gathering soon just to kind of re-experience that. For anybody who has been a Magic the Gathering player, by the way, I want to hear some of your thoughts on possibly dipping my toes back into the game after, gosh, I don't know, 15 to 20 years away from it. What's it going to be like getting back into it? So something I've been thinking about. You'll have to wait and see. We'll be talking more about that fairly soon. If you guys have ever purchased any playmats or seen any playmats from Frontline Gaming, they actually have a store. You may not know that they have a store, but I have done business with Frontline Gaming before. I've purchased stuff from them. I've also done some reviews where they provided stuff from them. So they're definitely a very reputable store. While I haven't purchased games from them in the past, I have used, I definitely have done business with Frontline Gaming before. Also, they're a big sponsor of a lot of tournaments that happen. So definitely a big name and somebody you can trust. But Frontline Gaming, they are selling games too. They have all kinds of tabletop games that's a little bit more focused on the miniatures games and the types of games that Frontline Gaming tends to support. But yeah, pretty cool stuff there. You can definitely check them out. And then I guess probably my favorite go-to currently is Miniature Market. Miniature Market has a ton of stock, a ton of inventory. I believe they were actually bought out by Asmodee not too long ago. So they're probably very likely to have your Star Wars games in stock. Probably more likely than a lot of other sites. There's also, they also have sales. They have deals. They have all kinds of discounts, and it's one of the best places to go to try to find something. Although, granted, I have a game up right now that is currently out of stock. Star Wars Rebellion, folks. One of my favorite games of all time. Here we have the Rise of the Empire expansion. I tried to diversify a little bit with some of the games that I had opened, showing you guys kind of several different types of Star Wars gaming criteria for our searches. So I thought that was I thought it was fun. But these are just some websites. There's definitely plenty more stores and shops. I don't want to really recommend things like eBay, since you never really know. Sometimes you might have to, but there is some inherent risk in going with person-to-person sales, because you never know if something's going to be, if they've opened it up or moved something and resealed it. So you kind of want to go with a place that's reputable. If you're going to do something like eBay, make sure your seller has lots of positive feedback, and it's. And I think there are, precautions if you pay with PayPal and you didn't get what you paid for. There's like insurance and stuff like that. But as far as like reputable sites, these are some that I wanted to share with you guys. But I'm also curious of other sites that some of you all might recommend. Now, for what it's worth, I am based in the United States. There are also going to be some websites that specialize in other places, like European specific stores, for example, that will have better shipping and pricing and things like that. So definitely also check with your local communities and find out what sites they recommend. It's always a good idea to talk to people that you know and trust, find out where they purchase from, and kind of go from there. I have made some purchases from from overseas as well, but I wanted to focus this one on stuff that's kind of local to me and local to the United States, just as some examples. But I do want to hear what you guys think. Now, going back to Amazon, we talked about how Amazon tends to have a lot of options from a lot of different resellers. Brings me to our giveaways. We do giveaways all the time on this channel. We've been doing a big one that has been running through Halloween, and that is for a $100 Amazon gift card, which you can put towards a Star Wars game of your choice. To enter to win that, all you had to do was be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. Today's winner is going to be Court Jones 9091. Congratulations, Court Jones 9091. Go ahead and shoot me an email over at mailcrabbok@gmail.com. We'll get you all your information, get you squared away there, and yeah, it's as simple as that. If you did not win this time, don't worry. We're going to be doing 12 days of Life Day for the holidays coming up in December, and that's going to follow the same criteria. So I want to talk more about that in an upcoming video, but there are lots more giveaways to enter to win. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. That is how you enter to win. And you know, hopefully you're sticking around for the content as well. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Hopefully that's what brought you here. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and look forward to seeing some of those great suggestions, great comments. I will talk to you guys later. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are out of this world and help make this whole channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes, and always wash your socks.